The Pumpkin Man will steal your soul, snap it up and swallow it whole. Then, just as quick before you die, the Pumpkin Man will steal your eyes. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Miles of Horror, the only channel that's going to make you scream. Appreciate you guys hanging out. If you'd be so kind as to hit that like button, please subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate it. And as you saw in my hook, the little jingle there is from none other than 1995's straight to video Halloween classic. Okay, classic, and I mean that wholeheartedly. Tape store classic Jacko. Okay, now, I have a lot to say on this. I just watched this for the first time. This came out in 1995, and if you know nothing about this movie, I'm going to break it down for you. But I strongly recommend you go watch it because it is undoubtedly one of my favorite Halloween watches of all time.
A fairy tale born from a legend. A truth more terrifying than the tale.
Say a prayer for Daddy tonight, okay?
Only one man had the courage to stand against the forces of darkness. But when a secret that lay dormant for nearly a century is accidentally unearthed, a vicious avenger is summoned to fulfill an age-old prophecy.
Send us a demon from hell.
Then or quick before you die, Mr. Jack will steal your eyes. Mr. Jack will, Mr. Jack will.
Jacko, 1995. I watched this on VHS, and it's eluded me for a long time, but I finally watched this Halloween. Can I call it a masterpiece? Will you guys get on my case for calling it a masterpiece? Because I kind of thought it was a masterpiece. I loved every second of this movie. It's exactly what I value in horror, exactly what I love about the genre. There's so much here that rubbed me in all the right ways. And it's a Halloween movie, so like it just really hit my heartstrings in all the best ways. Linnea Quigley and Brink Stevens is the witch. Like, come on, guys. I mean, you can't convince me a Halloween movie with Linnea Quigley and Brink Stevens is not going to be awesome. So anyway, this movie came out many, many years ago, 30 years ago, back in 1995. Epitome of the tape store era, right? That is like the heart of that time period. I was 9 years old at the time. So this was, absolutely something I remember walking down the aisles of the tape store and seeing. Now, there have been other releases of this. There was a DVD and a Blu-ray. The Blu-ray came out a couple of years ago in 2022 from a company called, who was it? A company called Retro Media, which is they're actually doing some cool stuff. Retro Media, check them out. They did like a whole bunch of like things that are stuck on VHS, like Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers and Jacko. So definitely check them out. They're a pretty cool company. But anyway, they did a Blu-ray of Jacko, but I have the VHS, and this is exactly the way I recommend you watching this movie for so many reasons. But anyway, here's the VHS, that iconic cover art. Check out the aesthetic. Some cool stills on the back. Mr. Jack will snap your spine, cut you in half with a scaly vine. Now, the legend of Jacko is all but forgotten to the townspeople of Oakmore Crossing, except in the nursery rhymes of children almost 100 years before. Warlock Walter Mackin was hung for murder. But before he died, he raised up the fury of a demon creature to take revenge on the unwitting townspeople. Now, the demon, of course, being this guy right here, Jacko, with a dastardly kind of jack-o'-lantern head there. So as I said a couple minutes ago, right, the way to watch this movie, in my opinion, is on VHS. Okay, this is absolutely peak tape store vibes, peak home video experience vibes between the practical effects, the cheesy dialogue, the foggy dark blacks. This thing was just perfect for VHS. I truly wouldn't have it any other way. And there is that Blu-ray of it, but I don't even. I'm chilling with this, guys. Like I had so much fun watching this on VHS. I really felt like I was back in the tape store, grabbing a rental for the night, ordering pizza. It was such a pleasurable experience watching this on VHS. And I can't even tell you, I recommend if you are going to watch this, if you've never seen it, if you can get your hands on the VHS, it's roughly the same price as the Blu-ray. I say go VHS. There's such a charm to this movie. And watching it on VHS. Now, Jacko himself, right? The aesthetic of him, you can see him on the cover there, is fucking awesome. Okay. It's a super cool kind of pumpkin head, jack-o'-lantern type scarecrow with practical effects. And I am all about that kind of that time period where the practical effects are very practical, right? And there's no CGI, and it's a lot of like moving pieces and a lot of just very simple things being used to create these masterpiece effects. And that's exactly what they did with his head. It just looks awesome. But let's go back to 1995 because this is a very interesting year for horror, and I think for a lot of people this probably passed them by because again, it finally got a Blu-ray for the first time in 2022. So it has been somewhat of a dormant movie over the years, but it came out in 1995, which is a really pretty interesting year for horror. So listen to this: you had Candyman 2, Carnosaur 2, which I fucking love. Castle Freak, I fucking love. Demon Knight, I fucking love. I'll stop saying that. Frostbiter, amazing. You had Halloween Curse of Michael Myers, classic. Ice Cream Man, Lord of Illusions, Leprechaun 3, Mosquito, Night of the Scarecrow, Species, Tales from the Hood, Texas Chainsaw New Gen, Vampire in Brooklyn, Village of the Damned. So a lot of really, really good stuff in 95. This is a great year for horror. And of course, none other than Jacko as well. So 30 years ago, June of 1995, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe that was the Blu-ray was June. I don't remember exactly. But so it came out amongst a lot of great other horror movies, a lot of full moon stuff coming out now, a lot of creature features, a lot of niche horror. Like 95 was again like Ice Cream Man, Frostbiter, Demon Knight, Castle Freak, Species. So this kind of like creature feature stuff was really popular at this time, which is kind of like my favorite type of horror, the body horror type stuff. So anyway, the movie's lighting is wonderful. Almost the entire thing is shot at night with a fantastic Halloween vibe. So right off the bat, if you're looking for a good Halloween watch this year, or if you want to just get some Halloween vibes in February, look no further than Jacko because the Halloween vibe is on point. What I think I loved most about this movie, and like here it is, truly, is that it feels like a kid's movie. Okay. Yeah, and I mean that wholeheartedly. Like the movie, the protagonist in the movie is a kid. And, that kind of thing hasn't really happened in recent years as far as horror is concerned. I think that's part of the reason why Stranger Things was so successful and so popular because it's a horror show and a sci-fi show centered around a bunch of kids. And like that kind of vibe is something that people want. It hasn't been kind of prevalent in a long time. So, I think seeing this now, it reminds me of what fun children's horror could be, even though there's blood, even though there's gore, and it's not really considered children's horror. It takes you back because kids should watch horror. Kids should be watching scary things. Take that for what it's worth. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's okay for kids to watch scary things as long as it's not too scary. This might be a little too scary, but it's okay for kids to be the protagonists of a spooky movie. I think that's okay. Again, it's super Halloweeny. And I'm gonna spoil one quick thing here. One death. So if you have not seen this movie and you want to know absolutely nothing about this movie, look away now. But one of the best deaths ever I've seen in a movie. A woman, is hanging out with her husband and she sees her husband outside. He gets killed by Jacko, and she goes outside to see what's going on. She sees him dead. She runs inside to grab a knife. And she slips on the rug and accidentally sticks the knife in the toaster and gets absolutely brutally electrocuted. And to the point where like she becomes a like skeleton and like kind of like Marv style. It was great, really great kill. Another one-liner from this movie that was fantastic. I think the kid says it actually. He goes, "Come get me, Pumpkin Man," and it's just classic. It's such 1995 goodness. So, listen, I am shocked it took me this long to watch it, but I did just watch Jacko. I watched it on VHS. Linnea Quigley, Brinke Stevens. It's fantastic. If you guys have seen this one, hit me up in the comments because I am dying to talk about this with people. I had so much fun with this. Like, I can see this truly being like a perennial October watch for me. No questions asked, hands down. I think this is like in my October rotation officially moving forward. So there you have it. The movie is Jacko. This got a 10 out of 10 for me, guys. I absolutely loved it. So much fun. The practical effects were fantastic. The Halloween vibe was amazing. So hit me up in the comments if you've seen Jacko or if you haven't. And you got questions, hit me up. But appreciate you guys hanging out. Let's get to 400 subscribers ASAP, and I'll catch you on the flip. Peace.